Fall River Conservation Commission meeting being held at One Government Center. We're in the first floor hearing room. It's Monday, July 1st, 2024, 5:30. Pursuant to the open meeting laws, any person who make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and deemed acknowledged and permissible. We'll start with roll call. To my left,
Louis Ferrero.
John Brandt,
Jim Cusick.
Paul Amaral.
Nikita Valencia.
and we're missing Chris Boyle. We also have Patty Aguiar, Head Clerk, and Dan Aguiar, Conservation Commission. And from FRG TV, we have Craig. First on the business is notice of intent, SE-24-831. Owner applicant is Jeff Sylvia. Project location is 2450 Indian Town Road. Assessor's map is W-34-0012, filed by Ecosystem Solution Inc. On behalf of the applicant is proposing a restoration plan to remove the unauthorized cart path created in and around 2017 from an order of conditions from 1997. DEP file number was SE-24-289. This was tabled from our last meeting on June 3rd, 2024.
So commission members, I can report that we have made some movement on this. We were able to meet with the property owner. We were able to get a certified copy of the original order of conditions and get it recorded at the Registry of Deeds. So if you remember, that was the first comment we had when they initially filed for this months ago, which no one could ever give us an answer to. We could never find it had ever been recorded. So it was determined that it had not been. We were able to get them a copy from 1997. The clerk had to stamp it in as being actual and correct. Registry of Deeds did accept it, did record it. So now we can start the dominoes to stop falling, with that being the first thing. So with that having just happened, Mike Lavoisier, who was the applicant on this, working with the owner, has asked that the matter be tabled, and he expects to have a number of the items resolved before the August meeting. So that's all I can offer you on that one.
All righty. Board, any questions? Motion to table?
So made. Seconded.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next, review and discussion of update on Bell Rock Road.
Nothing to be added at this time, other than what I had given you at the last, that the applicant would be placing some additional fill. I did put a call into them, asking them to get some updated erosion control. And the last schedule they gave us was that they anticipated all of the restoration to be complete by the fall, so nothing new on that.
Any questions? Motion to table?
Motion. Table.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay. Review and discussion of adopting fee structure. This was tabled from June 3rd. State still hasn't done anything, finalized their plans. I think we should hold off on doing ours till they're done with theirs. So a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next, review and discussion of 1262 Brayton Ave.
So as an update, we did receive a draft, a water extension and sewer connection plan. If you remember, your order of conditions was, had a condition of site plan review being completed. So they have moved that process along, moving to that next step. So at least some progress is being made with regards to the site. Erosion control is still fine. They haven't gone beyond the footprint that we had agreed to that they were occupying a few months ago. So nothing new to add on that, other than that they have moved forward with the site plan review completion.
Good. Any questions? Motion to table?
Motion to table.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll second.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay. Next is a request for determination of accessibility of -186 owner applicant Paul Furlan, property location 10 Ferry Street. Assessor's map is N-14-002, filed by Wright Pierce Engineering, A Better Environment, on behalf of the applicant. The applicant is proposing sewer pump station, mechanical, electrical equipment replacement of deteriorated generator house with flood-hardened house anchored to a pile foundation, installation of a bypass sewer connection to enable the work to take place outside of the over 25-foot area. Erosion control protection will be installed to prevent sediment from escaping the work site. This was tabled from June 3rd.
So nothing new to add. The applicant, who is the sewer department here, is working with their consultant to update those plans. Who knows when they'll come in. If you want to remove it from the agenda and we can replace it back on once we get them so that you don't have to keep reading it in, that's fine. Or if you just want to keep tabling it and reading it, that's okay too. It's up to you.
I'll make a motion to remove it.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay. Next is a notice of intent, SE-24-839, owner applicant Russell and Cynthia Petty, project location 66 Shannon Street, assessors map D-09-0089, filed by Proline Engineering, Inc. On behalf of the applicant is proposing to restore the existing dwelling and deck, abandoned existing septic system, and install a new septic system in accordance with Title V and the city requirements, complete with utilities, landscaping, including removal of existing stumps, retaining walls, steps, and add grading along the rear of the property between the dwelling and the pond.
So Commission members, if you remember, we had a few items that we had asked the applicant to address. I'll go through those with you. We had asked that if the property, did it have a waterways license for the existing structures? No, there is not one present. They're not looking to modify any of the structures, so there's really no action for you to take at this time. So there's really nothing to add for that one. We asked that they provide the regulated flood elevation. The applicant was able to provide a 100-year flood elevation of 143. The number we were actually looking for was the regulated pond elevation. So the water department keeps that at an elevation of 132.1 on a datum of NAVD 29, which I think looks about right to your contours. So we've got that one. We had asked what was the 100-foot setback measured to, the bank, the water's edge. It's been provided from the applicant that it is measured from the high water mark, which I assume would be around that 132 elevation. We had asked that the topography beyond the retaining wall and the southerly edge be added so that we could ensure that once the retaining wall is removed, that the grading could match and blend into the existing contours on the southerly side of the property. That's been addressed. We did have a general comment that the proposed grading seemed excessive and would direct some runoff to the abutting properties. The grading has been modified, you'll see on the revised plan, and greatly reduced from what was previously shown. So I believe that what they have proposed now is more than acceptable. One thing I would ask is that there is a note with regards to the placement of fill and loam. I didn't see a note about what would be the vegetative cover placed on this new area. Is it just gonna be seeded, the grass?
Yeah,
All of
loam
it?
and seed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no gravel driveways, there's no nothing, it's just everything's gonna be grass?
Yes.
Okay. So make sure we do it at a time where we can get grass established, you know?
Okay.
Let's not do this grading in October and then
Sure.
have a mud pit dealing
Sure.
with all the way through the spring. We had asked if the existing concrete slab to the south, was it being removed or reconstructed? It is being removed. Is the existing riprap along the north side being removed? The existing ramp and riprap is to remain in place as it currently exists now. And then lastly, I had just added, was there an elevation associated with the high water mark, which we've determined to be approximately 132. So with those things, and knowing that it would be loamed and seeded, I would recommend the issuance of an order of conditions.
Okay. Board have any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Can I have a motion to issue an order of conditions?
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Happy 4th.
Next is a notice of intent, SE-24-838, owner BBC Realty Holding LLC. Applicant is Bristol Tape Corp. Project location is 500 Innovative Way. Assessors map is W-19-0187, filed by Zenith Consulting Engineer LLC. On behalf of the applicant is proposing construction of an industrial building with associated tree clearing, parking, utility grading, drainage, and landscaping. This was tabled from June 3rd.
I did speak with the consultant on behalf of the owner. They're still working on the revised plans, so nothing to add for this, just a matter to be tabled.
Okay. Motion to table?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay. Next is, all you folks are with the New England. Okay. Just didn't want to let anybody out if they wanted to speak. Next is notice of intent SE-24-840. Applicant owner is New England Power Company. Project location, existing overhead transmission line, ROW, assessors map, multiple location, existing ROW easements, filed by Power Engineer Consultant, PC, on behalf of the applicant. The applicant is proposing construction of approximately 4.2 miles of new 115 kV overhead electric transmission line within existing right-of-way of ROW between Fall River's municipal border boundaries and with Dartmouth near Collins Corner Road to the existing Bell Rock substation in Fall River.
So, Commission members, if you remember at the last meeting, I had asked for some additional time so that I could review the petition. I did do that. First, let me offer that one of the first items we asked for was about the natural heritage process and where we were at. We did receive a letter on June 24th from them stating that the proposed activity will not adversely affect the resource area habitat, so that's what we wait for and to get an okay from them. With that being said, that was probably 80% of my concern over the project. When you look through the set of plans and the number of observed vernal pools, actual vernal pools, potential vernal pools that run through this property, there's quite a few.
Yeah.
But what I would offer is that the existing lines probably have, or would have impacted a greater degree of wetland area than what's being proposed. Although the project is very large, there aren't actually that many locations that really fall under your jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Around Copacut, around some of these little vernal pools and pockets and little isolated wetlands or isolated land subject to flooding. So that part of it has been resolved in my mind. I did speak with Paul Furlan, the Director of Community Utilities, who handles the water supplies, the secondary water supplies. He had no concerns. He said that the electric company is always very good to deal with. Anything that he's ever asked for, they've provided. He had no issues with regards to the proposed activities along the northerly edge of Copacut. Also spoke with Mike Lavoisier, the city forester, and he relayed the exact same narrative that Mr. Furlan did, and that he had no concerns. So the only lasting items that I would see, and again, this was after reviewing many documents that I had to review that were forwarded to us from one of the abutters, Sarah Riley, who I'm surprised is not here this evening. So I did look at everything that she raised. I did walk the site, at least in the locations that everybody had concerns about. So the only thing that I would request is that if you issue an order of conditions, that you require environmental monitoring with bi-weekly reports. And I do feel that the proposed replication area should be adjacent to the area being altered. I know there was a discussion with regards to taking credit for the over-replication at the previous site, but since no certificate of compliance has been issued for that, I feel that the replication area should fall adjacent to the existing altered areas. That's all.
Okay. So can I have a?
Oh, I don't know, they may want
Yeah,
to talk.
sorry.
National Grid did try to find an area on the right-of-way that would be suitable for wetland replication, but they don't have any fee-owned property. So National Grid does not own any of the property on the right-of-way, it's all easement. So
Right.
they're not able to perform the wetland replication on,
But you could fill a wetland, but you can't replicate a wetland. Within the right-of-way?
that's correct.
You sure? You want to find me that section of the law? Because we can table a matter,
with-
and you can provide this information,
Without permission from the landowner.
okay? Did you have to get permission
That-
from the landowner to alter their wetlands?
No, that is part of the easement rights that National Grid has.
I mean, I would recommend then that you table the matter until we get proper determination of this.
I believe that National Grid also discussed that plan with the commission.
When? While this notice of intent was filed or previously?
Prior to when the notice of intent was filed. I believe it was January of 2024, but I'd have to look at that again.
All right, okay. We'll have to table then
Okay.
and look into it further, unless you have something else you want to add.
I don't.
Does the board have any questions?
I don't know if there's anybody else in the audience. I don't know who the last person's here for.
Any questions from the audience? No. All right, so can I have a motion to table?
Motion to table?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Yes.
Okay, all in favor? Thanks. Next is a request for certificate of compliance, SE-24-781, owner applicant is AIS Real Estate Development Corporation, project location is 11 Briar Road Lane, assessors map is U-05-0065, filed by Allen and Major Associates, Inc. on behalf of the applicant. The applicant is requesting certificate of compliance on all work that has been completed in substantial compliance with the order conditions.
So, we visited the site, had the applicant make a couple of modifications, make sure that wetland signage was installed the way that was required under the order. So I can offer that all the work has been completed in accordance with the order of conditions, and I would recommend the issuance of a certificate of compliance.
Motion to issue COC?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Motion passes. Let's see, next is request for determination of accessibility of -190. Applicant is Mark Smith, owner New England Power Company, project location Route 24 South, assessors map is C-13-0001, filed by James Durant and Power Engineer on behalf of the applicant. Rhode Island Energy is requesting the L14 and M13 and 115 kV main lines and the 2 Tiverton tap 115 kV electric transmission lines in town of Tiverton, Rhode Island. These transmission lines extend into the interconnect while existing transmission structures in the city of Fall River, Massachusetts, in order to tie the replacement conductors to structure in Fall River. Temporary access is required to the existing structure to include the installation of temporary construction matting across bordering vegetated wetlands, BVW, and within the temporary construction matting, where is it at? The 100-foot buffer zone, BVW, to gain access to structure. This existing access road, portions of which are located within the 100-foot buffer zone, will be improved by adding stone, eliminating potholes and ruts. All work to incur the existing and maintaining rights of ways.
Here's the publication in the newspaper. Hi, my name is Jamie Durand. This is Carmen Dancy. We're both representing Power Engineers. Mark Smith is not here tonight. Mark Smith works with Rhode Island Energy, so we're actually here to represent Rhode Island Energy. The owner of the property is New England Power, National Grid. To summarize, Rhode Island Energy is rebuilding actually 4 transmission lines. The L14 and M13 in Portsmouth and in Tiverton, Rhode Island. Those tie into the lines here in Fall River, up near Bent Street and Mariano Boulevard, just south of Cook Pond. And then the other lines are the Tiverton tap lines, which run through Tiverton. You've probably seen them before. They're on the west side of Route 24. And those connect into Fall River as well. Best location to give you is McMahon Street as a dead end and as a cloverleaf of Route 24. So we're rebuilding those lines entirely in Rhode Island. What we're going to do is when we hit the state line, we're rebuilding new structures and putting new overhead wires. We need to install the new wires to the existing structures in Fall River. So there's no transmission structure work proposed in Fall River, but we do need to access some of the structures, and there are some wetland locations. So for the main line, which is over near the Cook Pond area, we'll be working in the buffer zone, and so we do have some matting that we'll be proposing in the buffer zone. We're also proposing to put a work pad, like a stone work pad, around one of the existing structures. This work will occur within the existing right-of-way that's owned by New England Power. And then for the Tiverton Tap, we'll be accessing, there's a gate off of the Cloverleaf of Route 24, so making some improvements to that existing access road. And in order to reach the structures, we need to put some temporary construction matting to reach the structure. And also, while we pull the overhead wires into Fall River, there's some temporary matting that's required to do the work. So it was our interpretation that we thought that, since we're replacing these electric utilities, that the majority of the work is exempt under the Wetlands Protection Act. But since we do have some fill in the buffer zone with the work pad for one of the structures, we just wanted to make sure we cleared this with the Conservation Commission. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Board have any questions?
No questions, no.
No questions for me. I would recommend the issuance of negative determination.
Okay. So can I have a motion for a negative determination?
Motion.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your time tonight. We'll get back to you about the wetland area.
I can't talk about it now, but something just popped in my head that if you guys want to hang on, we'll be done
Yeah,
quick in these next two items. I'll talk to you in the hallway.
sure thing.
Next is a notice of intent SE-24-0841, applicants DDL Realty, owner Madison Fall River Properties, project location 596 Airport Road, assessor's map is Z-03-0058, filed by Abzines Environmental Service on behalf of the applicant. The applicant proposing existing commercial development site improvement.
So, what I would offer is that the hearing can't be opened because the property at 596 Airport Road, the project includes a piece of land to be acquired from 594 Airport Road. The applicant did not include 594 Airport Road, the assessor's map, the references either on the application, the abutters list, the abutters notification, or legal ad. So I've advised the applicant to correct that matter and come before us at the next meeting. So I would not open the meeting. You can table it till the next meeting in August. Hopefully they have their stuff resolved.
Okay, can I have a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Second.
They had provided a letter of authorization from the abutter, but that doesn't preclude them. I mean, there was no reference to that property
Okay.
on anything.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next is a request for extension permit for orders of condition SE-24-764. Owner applicant is Natalie and Paul Combry. Project
Coimbra.
location is 221 Fieldstone Lane. Assessors map is U-04-0058.
So, if you remember, this is a site of a violation letter and enforcement order. So the order of conditions is set to expire, I think, at the end of July. So this one-year extension would give them the ability to keep it active and resolve the enforcement issue under the existing order. If you remember, they were here at the last meeting acknowledging, we finally have a consultant on staff. The consultant apologized for taking a little bit too long, but it appears as though Mr. and Mrs. Coimbra are finally responding to your enforcement letter and enforcement order. So I would recommend that you grant the one-year extension.
Anybody in the audience for this one? Okay. So can I have a motion to grant an extension of order conditions?
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay. Let's see, next, a request for determination accessibility of -191. Owner is applicant is Fall River Development Authority, City of Fall River. Property location is 600 Duval Street. Assessor's map is O-22-0012, filed by Beta Group, Inc. On behalf of the applicant is requesting the completion of 7 exploratory test pits up to 4 feet in depth to classify on-site soils, determine the landward limit of the stone embankment at the Northfield Point, minimal clearing of brush, preliminary poison ivy, will be required at the existing fence line to install two 10-foot wide gates and close off an opening to an existing chain link fence to prevent trespassing on the property. Following installation of the new gate, a mini excavator will be used to perform the test pits. No clearing or grubbing is necessary associated with the access to the test pit location. The test pits will be backfilled at the end of the day, and exposed soils will be stabilized as needed. Existing vegetation consists of primary poison ivy, invasive species such as
Phragmites.
autumn olive and multiflora roses. Work is proposed within the 25-foot riverfront area titled Influence Taunton River and land subject to coastal flooding.
And Patty had to type it all.
I'm sorry.
She asked me, do I have to write all of this? I said, yes, if it was written in the description, you have to, so we might require that they all get sent in a Word document from now on, so that we can cut and paste, but how about it?
Yeah. My name is Elise Tripp from Beta Group here on behalf of the Fall River Redevelopment Authority. I was the one with the long description, so I apologize, Patty. But that summarized everything really well. I'd say the only other thing I'd like to add is that this Northfield Point is part of the city pier property. It's just north. So the borings are really just to figure out what we have for soils on site, figure out how far landward the existing embankment goes, and that'll help to inform, future redevelopment of the property. And a part of that as well was there's an existing fence there to extend a corner of it to prevent trespassing, as there is a worn path that people have been using, as well as to install 2 gates just using the existing section of that chain link fence so that a mini excavator can get in and out, and then keep it locked up. So I'd be happy to take any questions or anything from the commission, if there are any.
I have no questions. I would recommend the issuance of a negative determination. We wanted to make sure that this did appear before you because of the attention we were sure it would get if somebody saw a mini excavator out in the middle of this area.
Well, I have a question though. There's gonna be 7 pits, that you're gonna dig and test for. If this land, do you have any idea what this is gonna be, for, or what's gonna be developed on this land?
Yeah, ultimately they'd like to use the area for just recreational access. So there is a little bit of a beach area, so maybe some fishing, something like that. But overall, it's really intended just to be a recreational space.
There will be other permitting before you.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's what I was good.
There was
Yes.
actually an article in the paper, I think,
Absolutely.
today about it.
Was it?
You'll
Either on
definitely
Fall
see
Report
us.
Or the Herald News
Yeah.
about the anticipated expanded recreational use of this piece of land.
But that,
Yeah.
when that project happens, after that, that's gonna come back to us and then.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a number of resource areas, so this will just be to help decide what we can and shouldn't do, and then we'll come before you guys with any actual work that's proposed.
And depending on the project, is that gonna be subject to chapter 91 or anything like that?
It is,
We
yeah.
had that discussion, yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
just helps
subject to
determine that
most.
process of
Okay.
what permitting needs to take place.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. So can I have a motion for a negative determination?
Motion,
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
yes.
Motion passes. Can I have a motion for approval of minutes for June 3rd?
Motion made.
Second, yes, sir.
Aye.
Vote, roll call?
Yes,
Aye.
yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. No public citizen input. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
Aye.
Aye.
yes, sorry. Usually you call, it's, yeah, we're all shouting yes.